retired and enjoy it, and how to best stay healthy while enjoying your retirement. And even if you're not retired, like I'm not retired at the ripe old age of 75, health is very, very important, and that's why we have our guest and or guests who are repeat offenders, the people that taught me that hospice is not a dirty word. It's not a bad word. It's generally a part of growing, and we're going to let the doctor or doctors speak as they will. But let's go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll take some time doing that, and we'll go from there.
So happy Friday, Jay. My
Well,
name,
thank you. You
thanks.
too.
Thanks. And my name is Dr. Rosh Shamsian. I'm one of the house officers at Golden Years Hospice Care. I work with our two medical directors in making sure patients are doing well. I'm also in charge of the daily operations to make sure everybody's happy, patient satisfaction, patient safety. That is my main concern basically, and also working together with community liaisons to build community relationships and help build a strong standpoint of what we offer in the community.
And that is so important. And you know what I love? Go ahead if you want to anyway, and repeat what you guys had told me about what hospice really is. That it's the time you get some bad news. However, it's the time you continue to,
So, right. So, going off of that, hospice is more considered as like supportive care. And the reason I say that, it's not specifically designed just only for people who are terminally dying. So if you have a disease or something that you need help with, you can actually ask for supportive care. Good example would be if you have cancer, for example, and you're going through chemotherapy and you need supportive care, which is the nurse, the doctor, supplies, and everything to help you. That's kind of part of our palliative care.
right. And palliative care was the other word that you guys are important in providing.
Right.
Because I know chemo, I've got a friend on chemo. She's been fighting brain cancer for 34 years. And, there's a few more tumors that showed up. And, chemo is just really not good for some people. I guess some people can handle it better than others. And not all chemo is the same, is it?
Right. Not
So,
all chemo is the same. And then some patients do actually go through chemotherapy and they see that, their disease is not progressing in the right direction, where therefore they can start a discussion with their doctor, their oncologist, and say, what's the next step? What can I do? The
right.
doctor will discuss with them that maybe it's easier, instead of being in the hospital all the time, to be at home with the family, and that's where hospice comes in. It's that supportive care. So you're not alone. The family's not alone. You
Right.
have the nurse coming visit you. You have a team of doctors. So we're there for you, and that's kind of the supportive team. Like if you need help with daily activities, caregivers, and all that stuff. And the good thing about this is when someone starts thinking that they need supportive care, is at the same time we can also remind them about what other things they need to worry about. For example, like make estate planning or figuring out if they need reverse mortgages. And then also that time is if they need to think about the mortuary, funeral arrangements, end of care, life, arrangements. Most people we talk to, about 98% of the population doesn't really think about this stuff, and
Right.
that's kind of a problem. You don't want to wait until the last minute where you don't have the capacity to think and you're in pain or agony to say, this is my wishes, this is what I want. So the sooner that someone can figure out and plan out what your wishes are and the family's wishes are, we can help them and guide them connect them to the people that we know in the community, and really make sure that we follow their dreams and wishes and hopes during this hard time that they're in.
And at that same time, you help them keep fighting to stay alive, to find out what choices they do have. Giving up is not a part of hospice, correct?
Correct. It's not about giving up. It's about, being there for you as a team, and trying to see how we can do to help improve you. We don't want you to think that life is hopeless. We don't want you to think, that you gave up because you have an illness. Like, the compassion part of it is there. We have that. We bring hope to the
Sure.
family. We have, bereavement counselors that can come and help. We have a lot of things.
And before I talk to you gentlemen or doctors, before the first show, I was always thinking that hospice was a place. It was a place that you went to get the care, and that I'm sure that exists. I know that
Well, it
exists.
used to
But
exist too. And so in medical school, I learned about that same concept. But over the years, things have changed. It's been, the philosophy has changed. It used to be like a senior living area, kind of like that, if
uh-huh.
you imagine, where people go to these facilities, and that would be where they would get hospice care support. Nowadays, a lot of people have transitioned from that concept, and they're saying, I want to be home with my loved ones. I don't want to die alone. I don't want to be in a facility or surrounded by people I don't know.
Right.
I want to be comfortable in my own bed or comfortable in my own home. Having that, capability, especially during now, even with COVID coming
Yeah.
around, uh, like, if patients are at their own home and they're comfortable, it's easier for family members to come and visit them. Whereas if they were at a facility, the probability of them being allowed to come in and, see their loved ones, if
I
there's,
know, just
it
crazy.
would be extremely hard.
And when you're fighting to stay alive by doing everything you can with the doctor, and you being a part of those decisions, uh, I mean, being in a facility, and especially this last year where nobody could visit you, uh, that had to be horrible.
Yeah, that's really hard on the family, especially even thinking, putting into context, like people who had COVID and they were stuck at the hospital, and people died, and unfortunately
Right,
family
right,
members weren't able to see them or say goodbye. It was
right.
either video chat or, not being there with their loved ones to hold their hands for the last moment and telling them, I love you. So this whole entire concept of hospice moving into the homes has really helped a lot of people connect. It's giving people time to have with their loved ones, and really make sure to understand what life is, the quality of life, and be
Yeah,
grateful for
you
the moments that they.
continue. You help people continue with their quality of life and to continue with hope.
Correct. And another thing is to make sure is people will not be suffering. We do manage their pain. A lot of people have that question, is like, well, I'm suffering, I'm in pain. Is there anything going to happen? And yes, we understand that the whole purpose of the supportive care is to make sure that you're not suffering, make sure you're not in pain, make sure that, we're taking care of you. And that's the whole concept of the supportive team and supportive care.
Absolutely. And it's like stepwise as you get older. Of course, when you're younger, you don't even think that you'll ever die. When you're just a kid like me at 75, I never consider those things, but I should. And I really think that you mentioned mortuary and things like that. If you get that done now, I mean, who's it going to help? Yeah, yeah. We all think it's going to help our families after we're gone, but you know what? It's going to help us too. It's done. It's out of the way, right?
Well, part of that is also you, however you want to plan it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Your children might plan it some way that you might not like, or you have special requirements that you want, whether it be burial or cremation. And the whole thing is, if you're alive now and active, it's easier to plan this stuff. It's easier to say, this is my wishes. Like, I want to be cremated, or I want to have a proper funeral. This is what I want, and your wishes can actually come true versus like a last minute where your relatives might not even care and do something that you
Yeah.
probably didn't want.
Right. So, the idea is to get these things taken care of way in advance. And I believe you people, for people that are afraid of the costs of these things, I believe that you folks at Golden Years have some ways to get around that, or some people to talk to that can get you better prices and
Right.
things like that.
So basically, working with the community, that's my responsibility, is to help the community. So I partner up with, for example, Everloved. And what they do is, I don't know if you can see it, they're basically letting people have funeral services for a very low cost.
Mm-hmm.
They know how it is, more memorial services, celebrations of life. They will help with online, like obituaries, slideshows, video shows where you can present to families,
Right.
help with burial costs, help with cremation, at a very, very low cost, a fraction of the price. And they're trying to make this whole process not only personalizable, it's very affordable compared to other mortuaries where they'll charge up to $5,000 to $10,000 for a memorial burial service, where they're offering it less than $2,000. They're trying to also make it stress free, where they're able to help you and guide you through the hard time planning things out. And this would be extremely important, and part of currently the 21st century and the digital age that we're in.
Yeah.
It's really immortalizing our loved ones,
I
and
like that. Yeah. Thank
that
you.
that's basically, keeping everything digitally, having a digital obituary, digital photo album, videos, being able to share that stuff so families can share pictures and videos of that loved one and share that amongst multiple people
That's
around
great.
the
Yeah.
world. Because imagine if you have relatives that are in a different country, or if they're in New York or Florida, and you passed away in California, but they can't fly because of COVID. You don't want them to miss out on your funeral. This will give them an opportunity to be part of your loving memory.
Right. Right. And I just went to one for a friend of mine who unexpectedly passed away a couple of weeks ago, and we had a couple celebrations. One where we, except me because I'm not allowed to drink, but a lot of drinking, a lot of celebrating, and then the family, extended family. I think there was about 200 people there, and several people got up and spoke, but they had a great video slideshow that was really important, I thought, to make it actually work. But you know what I'd like to do right now, since we're talking about how great you are and how much pleasure you give to people, uh, let's give out all your contact information. So go ahead and please do that.
So there's a couple of ways people can reach out to us. Our phone number is 888 909 3227, 1-888 909 3227. People can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or on social media. You can even go to our website, which can also connect you to what we have, what we offer. Even could give you our phone number again. It's at goldenyearshospice.com, goldenyearshospice.com. You can even email us from there. You can do reach out in any way that you feel comfortable, phone call, email, or even through social media. We'll reach out and be there for the family, help answer questions. If there's a lot of questions of whether, someone's eligible for hospice, can we take care of them? We're more than happy to discuss all that stuff with them at the same time, is to kind of say, we hear from you from day one, and not to think about, oh, you're here for me when I need you. That's not the purpose. It's, we're here for you now, not
Right.
later.
Now, it's a part of growing older, and I think all people, and I brought up, thank you, Ron Siegel, Household Board of Directors, but, other than financial people and realtors and people like myself, you need to know, you and your family need to know who to call for, say, in-home care. You don't want to wait until somebody falls down or you need in-home care. Interview these people, call them up now. And if you don't know who to call, I'm sure if you call Dr. A, we call him Dr. A, but no, you don't. You use your whole name. I'm the one that put the A because of Mr. B. But, use that number that was just given to you and you'll get recommendations. You need to interview way in advance who you want for your in-home care or who you want for your parents' in-home care. Also, you need to know about in-home health care or health care if it's at a facility or one of those resorts for, people as you grow older. It's a normal part of aging, and you need to know who those people are well in advance. And the hospice and palliative care, especially in a way, you need to know that too. So give a call and talk to these people and get things prepared for yourself, right?
Right. I mean, this is a good way to think about it, supportive care for if, children are looking to have an extra eye, for their parents who have Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any neurodegenerative disease, and they're not able to visit their parents every day or check up on them. This way, part of the supportive care would be to have a nurse actually go visit them every other day. We can have our
Right.
team call them every day to make sure they're okay. We talk with the pharmacy policies to make sure that they're taking their medications. We have all these policies in place to make sure that we're taking our care of these patients. My main concern again is patient satisfaction and patient safety. I really watch over every single patient, make sure there's no issues, make sure everything is dealt with. Our purpose or main goal is to try to prevent patients from going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Being admitted to the hospital is, it's still possible even when you're with us. It's not like if you come and join this hospice care or palliative program that you are not qualified to go to your hospital. That's a really big misconception. You can even still go see your primary care doctor. That's still okay. We're not saying you can't, but the whole point is to prevent people from going to the hospital, and especially during this time during COVID,
Yeah.
increasing the risk of getting infections and being, boggled down at a hospital. So what we do is we bring the medical services to you directly. So when patients have issues or there's problems, they'll call us and say, "Hey doc, I have pain in my right knee, or I have pain here." And then we'll give them the right medication. We'll call the pharmacy. The pharmacy will send the medications to them directly. They don't have to leave their home. And during, especially now that, COVID's coming back up, it
Oh
kind of
boy.
builds up another safety layer for them. Like, you don't have to go out to feel like you're getting sick. Everything comes to you. The nurses come to you. Everybody takes their COVID precautions very
Oh, I'm sure.
strictly with
Yeah.
us. The last thing we want to do is get anybody sick, and that's
Right.
kind
I'm
of
sure
the
your entire staff is vaccinated and, ready to go.
Yes, we're all vaccinated, but still we take extra
Of
precautions
course, yeah,
just to be on the safe side.
because we do see some infections coming in for people who have been vaccinated, but they don't seem to be very serious kind of infections. So it's so important to get vaccinated. But that's the subject for a whole different show. But yeah, but you guys are so nice. I mean, it's almost as if I want to get in your care, but I'm not volunteering for that yet. But it's so nice to have people, real caring people like yourself and your partners there.
Yeah, it's more of like a concierge service, how people pay extra to have the a doctor on call and to have
Right.
a nursing staff. Well, this is kind of the same thing that Medicare pays for. So once again, everybody thinks, well, how
Oh,
much is
there you
this
go.
going to
That's right.
cost me? How, why, I'm worried about getting the supportive care. How much is it going to cost me? And once again, they don't have to worry about anything because it's already covered through Medicare. So that's the beauty about it. It's really think about it as concierge service or supportive care that's cost free
Right.
for your loved ones.
And that goes for the palliative care also, correct?
Right, right.
Yeah. I mean, I really think, Medicare is one of the best inventions ever. And I know it's helped me so much over the last year and a half, and it helps everybody, and it keeps people from being afraid to call you because there's no price tag there.
Right. And that's kind of
And
the one thing that most people hold out on. It's like, well, this sounds so good.
yeah,
I get someone to come over, help me take a shower, or I have a nurse coming check up on me. I have my medications delivered to me.
right.
If I have a problem, I can call the staff and they connect me to the doctor and all this stuff. But how much is it going to cost me?
Right, right. Because most things that are worth it cost something. But you know what? You have paid for it. It's not free. You and everyone else in this country have already chipped in. And when you need these services, everything you've chipped in is put in a fund, and out it comes. So you
Right.
deserve it.
It's better to use it than lose it.
Yeah, that is true. So true. And you were speaking earlier, as our time starts to wind down, unfortunately, you were speaking earlier about expansions.
Yeah, so basically, we're working with different hospitals right now, mostly in the Orange County area,
Oh, okay.
Irvine, Santa Ana. We have a team of doctors coming out. The great part about being with our program is we actually do have doctors come out and see you physically every month. So even though you have a doctor that's on tap, like that concierge service, and the nurses
Uh-huh.
that come and see you every week, you're actually are going to have a doctor come and see you, sit down with you, talk with you, and make sure you're doing well. So
And
that's
next time you need to come out to Orange County or beyond, let me know. I'll pick you up at the train station.
I
So,
will.
you know, so because you guys were on Ron Siegel's show, I think.
Last week, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Right.
yeah,
I think you were there one day before I was there. So,
yeah.
so yeah, the expansion is great. The networking, and I hope to be more a part of your networking situation. And we'll try to get together with some of those people I had spoken about earlier, maybe within the next week or 2 weeks. It won't be out in Riverside or anywhere. It'll be in Los Angeles. I'll take the train, and we'll try to meet there. We met last time at Grand Central Market, and that's a great place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It has a lot of history. It means the surrounding areas have a lot of history as well.
Oh yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great place to visit if nobody's ever gone and visited. It's another like a treasure of LA.
it is. It sure is. And there's so many treasures, whether it's LA or whatever, we can't stop thinking about the treasures that are a part of life. And even if you're in hospice care, when you're in hospice care, with people like, that we're talking to right now, you will still keep remembering and experiencing the treasures of life. That's so important. And who knows how long life's going to go on? So, you never know. You're still fighting. There are still new cures coming out every day for things. So you got to keep on top of it, right?
Right. And that's the whole point, is to never lose hope and to understand there's always a supportive team here for you. It's to show that we are really one big family, even though we're not next to each other. We
Yeah.
think of you as a family. We provide the care. We're there for you. That's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, I already think of you guys as family, even though, we haven't known each other that long, but you're a younger part of the family. I'm the old,
The old and wise one.
the grandpa of the group.
Yeah.
But I don't think of myself that way, but I are that way. And unfortunately, somebody invented mirrors, and I do have a good imagination, but it ain't that good. So, we have to. One more reminder: when you look in the mirror and you see you're not 24 anymore, call these people up. Let them give you recommendations on in-home care. And if you fall down or a loved one falls down, you know exactly who to call because you've interviewed these people and you love these people, and these people will take care of you and your loved ones. Which reminds me, we have a couple of minutes left, unless you want to keep going, but we're going to have you back next month, right?
Right. So we already
And,
scheduled some time with you.
oh yeah.
Our phone number again is 888-909-3227, 888-909-3227. So if anybody wants to reach out, we can even discuss about other options like, estate planning and
Yeah.
what to do with the future. It doesn't really we don't have to talk about hospice. We can talk about, the connections and the community programs that we're in. If they need referrals to doctors, if they need anything, we can help connect them and really basically help plan for the future.
Right, because if you're alive, you have a future, as Susan Geffen used to say at her thing- at her seminars. And boy, she used to get like 300 people at a time at those seminars. And I think it's kind of indirectly through Susan that you and I met to begin with, through, I believe, One Heart, correct?
Right. Through One Heart.
And I got to know One Heart through Susan Geffen. So there you go. And so we've got to go, and we're going to look forward to having you back next month. But in the meantime, remember, call these people. If you didn't get the phone number, check it out. I mean, it's going to be on the show notes. It's going to be, everywhere on the videos. Call them up before you need them, way before you need them. And then when something happens, you're not spooked. You're not worried. You're not up against the wall. Okay. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
You're
all
welcome.
the time, and I think about you more than you know, because you're such good guys. But we got to go now, and we'll see each other soon. Take care, and for everyone else, we've got some news coming. Don't go away. I'll be